All right, we talked about some of our people that have been in our last 99 shows, and Clay Millican was one of them. And of course, everybody knows that Lee Millican Hubbard is Clay Millican's sister, and she's a big part of the Real Deal Race Report. And she's going to talk a little bit about what, some of your memories.
Yeah,
that you
we're
had.
talking about the 100 shows. I haven't been in here for 100 times, but the times that I do come, I come to talk about mainly Clay Millican.
And Top Fuel Racing
and
NHRA,
all the racing, because
and
that's all we do is eat, sleep, and race in our brains. That's in our blood, and that's why we're all here. So when I come in, I'm prepared to talk about everything that's happened with all the 4 pro categories.
In NHRA.
But mainly on Sunday, when I'm taking all my notes and thinking, okay, I got to go in here and say how bad Clay's team did and what happened. And not that I'm, trying to hide anything that they do, but when I get to come in here and say that he wins, that was just that was the cherry on the top for me, to come in here to be able to share my experience with it.
All right, well, speaking of wins in 2023 in NHRA Top Fuel Racing with the Parts Plus Top Fuel team that Clay Millican drives, let's talk about some wins.
Well,
3 wins this year in NHRA Top Fuel Racing. By the way, Clay Millican is the winningest Top Fuel driver in IHRA history.
Correct.
Winning more races than Don Garlits did, which was a huge deal,
Mm-hmm.
dominating in Top Fuel and IHRA. And he's in 2023, he got the most NHRA wins in Top Fuel he's ever had, and he won at Chicago at Route 66 Speedway at Joliet, Louisiana.
Which was his first debut 25 years ago to
that's
that date.
right.
He was
Was
the
that
first
in the
Top
Boston
Fuel
Red
car.
Sox car?
The Chicago White Sox.
Chicago White Sox.
He debuted Top Fuel. He was the very first Top Fuel car to go down that track
and
when it opened.
that was in a rental ride, wasn't it?
It kind of was.
Was it Paul Smith's car?
Yep.
Yeah.
It sure was.
Oh, that's crazy that I can remember that.
And he won it 25 years later.
That is so cool. But you weren't there.
I was not at that one.
Okay. And then he rocks on along.
So he says,
and here comes Denver at Vandermeer Speedway at the Mopar Mile High Nationals, which you were there.
Yes, and me and my sister have never been at the NHRA race when he's won, because he had only won Bristol, which we weren't there on Father's Day. We were with our father, and then Chicago. But then Vandermeer, we were there, and it was the very last race
Vandermeer Speedway,
for that track. And I had never
sold
been.
The property.
And it was amazing, and it just, even if he hadn't won, it was such an amazing time to go there, because it was the last one. It was sold out. It was the air was just electric. The whole atmosphere was crazy. But for him to win, that's what I'm saying. When I get to come in here and tell you guys about all that, that's what I like.
Speaking of Vandermeer at the Mopar Mile High Nationals, do you remember? You remember who, the rounds and all that stuff that he went through?
Oh, yeah, it was...
Well, tell us a little bit about how his day went.
But it was, the day was very good as far as, performance-wise, but they were having to hustle. Whenever they go live on TV, they really push them.
Yes, they do.
There's only 50 minutes between
There's
rounds.
no excuse.
And... his team's not very, they're not green, but they're not like Don Schumacher's teams. They're not... But them kids, they came in and they turned that car around every time. And they were thrashing so hard. I was helping with Clay with his fuel. They were running. And it was just, it all worked out. And it was the best day ever in racing for me and for Tracy. Maybe for Clay. Bristol will never, nothing will ever top Bristol for him.
There was
but
a lot
for us, Vandermeer.
Especially the Bristol race at Father's Day and
and
all the things.
Nothing's going to top that for him. But Clay told me and Tracy that we'll never have that feeling again, and he was right, because we went to St. Louis. He won St. Louis. Yes, we were excited. Same year, but it wasn't the same feeling. You'll just never have that very first win feeling ever again, even though St. Louis was awesome.
That's exactly what I was going to say.
Never topped it.
At Worldwide Technologies, the St. Louis.
And being home. That's closest to home you're going to get.
It's such a shame,
It is a shame. So, anyway, I appreciate y'all letting me come in here and share all that with y'all for 100 shows. I know I hadn't been here for 100 shows, but don't think I'm not listening for 100 shows.
We're here for number 100 today.
That's right.
So, that's crazy. Well, Hey, I appreciate you guys coming in.
I plan on coming back some
more.
There
you go. There you go.
let's don't end it here.